I can't wait to introduce how Yu-Gi-Oh cards are actually the currency of this world and campaign. Yeah, the big bad's gonna be Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Can't wait to cast Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Kaiba. So last time, Glenn, we started off the last session in the town of Whitport, where they had just solved the mystery of the Were Tiger murders. And at the beginning of it, Glenn had a conversation with a coin that they had found a couple sessions earlier off of these soldiers who had said that they had been working for the Tattered Lord. And this coin essentially has like scratched off markings on both sides of it. But when Glenn was going to bed, it essentially started burning, and he had a conversation with it about this figure that is essentially trapped somewhere and wants them to come free them. Didn't get much information out of it aside from that before the coin went silent. They asked a couple questions about the Tattered Lord from Cedric, who is the mayor of Whitport, who essentially gave them access to his library of history and lore. And using that, they found out that the Tattered Lord was this figure from history. Over 100 years ago, there was only one recording of him, and that it was essentially a fallen lord who had figured out a way to live beyond death. And that is all the information they got from Cedric for that. Cosmo got an amulet, a silver amulet from Molly, who essentially said it was a good luck charm of their family, and passed it on to him. As they were on the road back to Tin Town from Whitport, they encountered one of the soldiers, the one who had escaped, that worked for the Tattered Lord, was sitting on the ground in the path and was just laughing hysterically. And when Cosmo touched them, they pulled out a dagger and cut their own throat and offed themselves, essentially. And they noticed that the soldier was withered, like kind of unnaturally withered. And as they traveled down the path a little bit more, they actually encountered an owl bear in the campsite they had slept in during the time when they encountered the soldiers, the Tattered Lord soldiers. And after fighting and dispatching the owlbear pretty quickly,
because of Rangrim,
they
prove it.
They,
I think I have it recorded.
It's no one has it recorded anywhere.
They essentially found that the bodies of the soldiers that they had dispatched earlier had actually like really quickly decomposed and were almost like just completely disintegrated and desecrated by the time that they were getting back to them. And then it had only been like a couple days, way too fast decomposition. Rangrim took a couple of the finger bones and some of the skin, the dried skin in his pocket, I believe. And so he has that for future use. They made it successfully back to Tin Town, where they turned in the bounty for the bounty for the Were Tiger murders and got essentially the full reward for that. Glenn went and talked to Joro down in the mines, who's the leader of the kind of renegade force, the refugee forces that live down there and aren't allowed to come to the surface, and essentially promised that he was going to bring them weapons and was talking about different ways to accomplish that. And then essentially figured out that he would just turn into Cosmo so that he could pass back and forth through the mines without any kind of, problems or having to sneak through anymore, because Cosmo works down there and has the ability to pass whenever he wants.
Friendship.
Of course, not telling Cosmo this.
Nope.
Throwing shame his way.
Best friends forever.
And that led to essentially everyone kind of going to sleep for the night. And in the middle of the night, Cosmo had a nightmare that he was traveling deep down into the mines into a cavern he had never been in before, and encountered a group of dwarves who he couldn't see their faces or who they were, and watched as this the symbol, this red hand with an eye symbol that they've encountered a couple times now, pulled the ceiling down, crushing all these dwarves in front of him. And with that, he woke up screaming and realized he was no longer in his bed. He was outside of his house and had drawn on the wall outside that red-handed, upside-down-handed red symbol with an eye in the middle of it in blood. And that is actually
Wait, I did that in my sleep?
You did that well, you don't know. You woke up and you were standing in front of the wall, and that symbol's in front of you, and your hands were covered in blood.
Oh, okay. All right. So I perceive that I did it. Got it.
I mean, I think we're gonna figure that out pretty quickly. But yeah, I think with that we can begin episode 8, All for One.
Not this one.
Yeah, so Cosmo, you are standing outside your house, and you have drawn this. You look down at your hands, and they are covered in blood, and there are cuts across your hands, your palms, and you've drawn this symbol outside, and you've just essentially woken up screaming. And that's the situation you find yourself in right now. What do you do?
So I wake up bleeding. Is it like actively bleeding?
You have these small cuts across your hands as if you've taken something like sharp and cut it a bunch of times on both hands.
I look at the cuts, and I want to. I guess I don't know. Like, do I look around for maybe what caused the? Do I see what maybe a knife or something that maybe caused it?
You look down on the ground, and laying down on the ground at your side is actually that piece of carapace from the hook whore, and you can see that along the sharp edge of the piece of this, like, I guess, chitin that would have been protecting the hook whore. You can see that on the sharp edge of it, there is blood running down it.
Okay. And then I look at the wall, and I see the mark of that upside down hand with the eyeball in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see anything else maybe like that would have caused the bleeding? Like, did I sacrifice something?
You don't see anything, like there's no dead bodies around you. There's no small animals that you've done anything with. Like, it just seems like you, putting together context clues, it seems like you cut your hand a bunch of times on the sharp part of this carapace that, for information of everyone else, it was the first time you encountered this symbol, and the symbol of the hand with the eye in it is actually embedded into this carapace from this hook whore.
Right. Okay. So I would probably just like shout, Rangram, then, I think I did something in my sleep and I didn't pay.
And is he outside of his house?
Yes, he is outside of his house.
Which number? Do we know which number he is?
I'm gonna just make I believe that we picked, it was one of the ones either to the right or the left of location 5, which is where you were at, Rangrim.
I was gonna say, because that's where I'm at. I'd be at the Iron Woman.
I was gonna say, I thought we were close to each other when because Glenn was sleeping in the spare.
Yeah, I'm upstairs. So
he would be awake because he only sleeps for like a half hour, right?
Yeah, so. This is early morning, probably around like 2 a.m. something.
Yeah.
So I would have not necessarily woken up, but I would have been alerted by the first yell when he snapped awake, and I'm like coming out the door when he kind of yells for us.
Glenn, I don't know what I did.
So I'm like fixing my like all white robes, and I looked at him like, I'm gonna need you to keep your hands where they are, buddy. Let's take like a little bit of a step back.
Glenn, tell me, what does it look like? Look at it. Look at it.
Looks like you got blood all over your hands. We should maybe go see if Rangrim's got some medication for you, my friend.
Well, so you said, I'm good with that one. And I like close my hands, and you just see light come from them. And I use lay on hands to. I use
lay
my
on your own hands.
I lay hands on my hands.
Just
Le-
You gotta clap. You gotta clap.
Just like that.
Well, it looks like
we
you're.
do. I'm okay. I was a thing. I was awake, and there's this thing on the ground. It looks like maybe I caught myself, and I drew a thing on the wall. It's really good.
Flynn-
It's a
Flynn
really
turns to
nice
the wall and
artwork.
he's like, wow, man, you're talented. I didn't know you had that in you. How'd you get so high up there?
Well, you see, I have no fucking clue.
Huh?
Did you hoist
It's
me
all-
up? Would you?
it's-
Did
it's only about the highest point it gets to is about 5 feet. So I
just?
Yeah.
I
It's like
was
still,
standing
like, right here.
I was standing on my tippy toes. Just
Hey, man, I'm impressed. You've been doing those squats we've been talking about. Good for you, man.
yeah, yes, it's very nice.
This looks a lot like that, right? And I point to the carapace that's got the branded hand
Yeah.
on it.
I clearly had some inspiration. I'd seen it before.
he traced.
I grabbed a step stool. That's right.
I look back towards Madges. Do I see Rangram on his way?
Oh yeah, he comes right around the corner right as you look over. Like this is getting awkward.
Right.
And
Yeah,
the Rangram comes around the corner and is like, "What are we all yelling for at such an early hour?" He kind of looks at the sky for a moment because he has absolutely no idea what time it was because he did just take a keg from the tavern and
He
just
just-
roll it home.
True.
Did he even
With
True. You've
sleep?
been having a Rangrim party.
Yeah, so he's been partying by himself. What are we all yelling about right now? And he turns around and looks over at the huge effigy of this hand and eye symbol drawn in blood. And looks over at Cosmo with the blood all over his hands, and then looks at Glenn. He's like, "What the fuck did you do?"
I
I
don't
just
know.
look. I hold up my completely bare hands. I'm like, you know, this wasn't me, right?
Just you mean to tell me this little goody two shoes did all the things with all the blood on the walls, graffiti in his mother's house like that?
Well,
You realize he's literally red-handed, right? We caught him red-handed.
there is literally blood on my. The blood is literally on my hands. It's right there. I don't.
Well-
I think it's my blood, but I don't remember anything in the night. I went to bed. It was nice. It was comfy, and then I woke up screaming, and here I am.
Well, hold on. And Rangrim pokes one of Cosmo's hands, licks his finger, and then licks the wall. Do I know if it's his blood?
It's ketchup. I'm kidding. No. No, yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know.
Taste irony.
Either do a medicine check or a nature check for me.
I will. I think I want to do a medicine. I'm going to double check that.
Taste-
I'm pretty sure medicine is what I want to
Tastes
do.
like pennies.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
That's the right amount of iron content.
As an 18.
I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, I mean, with your history in being a cleric and the knowledge of healing arts, that I'll say that you're able to essentially tell that it's similar blood.
It's dwarven blood.
Rangrim's like, that's your blood. And I lean to wipe my hand on Glenn.
I dodge so fast. I know it's coming. From the history of I just dodge.
I want an agility check.
Yeah, you want
I
to
petition the DM.
A dex saving throw.
16.
I mean, Rangrim, you want to do you
I'll-
want to roll one?
Yeah. Let's just hope I don't roll more than a 16 with my big old fatty 0 to dex. 15.
Ooh.
That could have
You
been
al-
spooky.
You almost get him. You almost get him.
Oh man, I tried.
You can hear the sound, kind of like a clumping noise coming down the path, and you can see kind of a swinging lantern coming your way from a little bit farther away.
Sorry, coming from this, town.
Coming from kind of to the left hand side of this this map here.
Is it early morning or is it still nighttime or
It's, it's still nighttime. It's about 2 a.m.
Okay.
And how big was the handprint? About 5 feet high.
Yeah, it's about between 4 to 5 feet.
Okay. When I see the lantern, I cast a minor illusion and I try to block the whole hand to be just like the wood again.
Yeah.
So, who's walking this way with the lantern? I missed that. I'm sorry.
We don't know.
They're getting a
Cool.
little bit
Yeah.
closer now, and you can see it's a pretty big form, and you can hear kind of like it's not a consistent footfalls. It seems like it's kind of like a clump. And
Our
then
boy.
you see a lantern coming, and yeah, as they get closer, you can tell, you can see Luther kind of limping his way over with his still peg leg. You see your friend the Warforged Luther.
What? Ringrit. Bang.
I thought I heard someone screaming. What do you what's going on?
Oh man,
we
that
thought
was-
we heard
Yeah,
yelling
yeah.
too, so
Yeah,
we came over here.
We came outside just as we was hearing.
Mm.
couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Odd. All right. Sure, there's nothing going on.
I
I
kind
mean,
of.
there's always something going on, right? Like,
It's
not
definitely
nothing.
it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm sure.
yeah, if you're sitting, you're doing something.
All right. He seems to. I rolled an insight for him. He seems to be kind of suspicious, but at the same time, he doesn't seem to feel like it's. He's a pretty private person, so it doesn't seem like it's his business to bring it up, and he seems to trust you. But actually, pretty happy that I ran into you. I know it's kind of an odd time of night, but I actually have something. I heard you did a pretty amazing job with everyone over in Whitport, and I have something I'd like to show you. If you want to follow me.
Uh,
Me
Yeah.
staring at this blood on the wall, and Rangram just follows him, fully knowing that he might have just blown cover.
Glenn looks. Oh my god, we just picked up some hilarious jokes in Whitport. You know, the whole blood on the wall story. I'll tell you it once we get back to your place.
Oh, one of
Cosmo,
those
you
you have
mentioned
to be
you were,
there kind of things, right?
Yeah, you get it. You
Right.
get it.
yep.
Gotcha.
It's-
Cosmo, you mentioned you were gonna go help your mom start breakfast, right?
yeah. I guess to go. It's gotta go.
Actually, Cosmo, if you don't mind, I really, I'd like everyone to be there. This is pretty important.
That's all right. Then I'll go along. It's okay, Glenn. I appreciate you. Me mom will be all right.
All right.
If
sounds good.
she's making breakfast at this time, I don't know what she needs help for.
I-
She's got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. It is the middle of the night, right? What was I
It is.
thinking? What was I thinking? I'll just help her
Oh,
in the
that's
morning.
another thing that they say in Whitport. Sorry, had to help my mom make breakfast.
You had to be there. You had to be there. We start walking with them.
Yeah, you see, he seems like he kind of stopped paying attention to that a little while ago and has turned around and is just kind of leading the way back to his back to the guild, essentially, back to the Heroes Guild.
Sneakily, I look to, like I kind of turn while we're walking, and I take off my robe and I throw it to Cosmo. I'm like, cover your fucking shit up. There's like tossing my white robe.
My hands are. What do I roll to catch?
I think if he's throwing you a robe, I think that you can probably just catch it. I don't think you need to
That's
roll
fair.
for that.
Great.
Make a
Perfect.
catch save.
Yeah.
I save. He's out.
And yeah, and Luther's not looking back behind him or anything like that.
Fair enough.
Glenn, do you have the coin on you,
Yes, it
by the
is
by?
attached to. Well, shit, actually. Yeah, it's attached to like my armor.
Okay. As you are walking over and you're it seems to be you can feel this like heat growing in your pocket where the coin is.
I like where this is headed.
Good things are coming.
I I'd like kind of pat for it and I palm it. I don't like pull it out, but I it's in my hand and it's palmed.
Okay. The second that you touch it, you hear that voice again in your head, and we're gonna kind of do two scenes at the same simultaneously, so we'll jump in and out of this. But you hear that voice in your head go, "Hello? Oh my God, you're there again. Okay." And then so you can hear that voice talking to you. You guys are making your way over to Luther's Legends, the hero guild that's in town, and Luther walks inside and kind of leads you into this room, which again is essentially set up kind of like a I guess like a banquet hall. It's essentially one large, long room that does have couple small rooms coming off of it, but there's one big long table going down the middle of it, and it has a raised dais at the front that has a couple chairs and a table for essentially looking down at the long table that runs through the actual main part of the building. And then behind that, there is a coat of arms with a couple with a sword and an axe crossed back behind it on the wall. And so Luther walks it.
A painted sword and axe, or a sword and axe?
It's real sword and axe.
Is it his giant sword?
It is not. Luther's big sword is on his back right now. His big old Buster sword kind of thing. And he walks in, and Glenn, so the conversation with the coin in your head goes, I don't know how much time I have. The Tattered Lord could be back any minute. I was able to steal some time away, but and you start getting this vision in your head of, it looks like a snowy mountain range and this like kind of valley between the two peaks, and it's like you're zooming out of this what essentially looks like not a cave entrance and not a mine entrance, but more of like it's been constructed almost like it's well formed of these, like the opening of like a temple that's been sealed up, and there's these carvings and runes all over the front of it, and you're kind of pulling farther and farther away from that as this like these visions are showing in your head, and you're kind of seeing this simultaneously as you're hearing Luther, who walks into the room and kind of walks towards the dais and goes, this place used to be something pretty amazing. Great heroes and legends were born here in this Heroes Guild, and from what I hear of your talents and what you've done with the people of Whitport and how you helped them, I think that it's time that you see its true potential. And he walks up to the dais and grabs the hilt of the sword on the bottom, and he lifts it up. And as he does, the floor in front of the raised dais, in between the raised dais and the banquet table, you hear this grinding and scraping as it slides away, exposing this staircase that's going down into the floor.
We have a bat cave.
And Luther takes the lantern and starts heading down the stairs.
Luther, do we follow you?
Rangrip's already following him. Like, yeah, I know where to go.
Glenn would hang back half a second, like to see them start down the stairs, and would whisper to himself, like, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you see what the location?
I saw something. I don't know what I saw. Is that where you are?
That's what I can remember. I just know it's somewhere cold. There's more. The Tattered Lord. Do you know who that is?
Only myths. Do you remember your name?
I don't remember my name. It's like it's been erased from me. I know who the Tattered Lord is, and for me to get out of here, you're gonna have to get something from them. They've locked me in here, and there's a sort of key to get me out. And so with that, we're gonna move back down. So, are you still hanging out up on top, Glenn?
No, I'm walking like whatever I think the range of whisper, like the distance that my whispers would not travel. So like maybe like 5 or 6 steps behind, or 5 feet back.
Okay. Yeah. So you all go down this kind of short spiraling staircase that seems to go maybe 10 to 15 feet down below the ground. And what you come into is this pretty amazing room. It seems to be completely cylindrical, and it's like I said, it's about 15 feet tall, kind of arching at the top a little bit, and it's cobblestone, and it's illuminated by these multicolored floating magical spheres that seem to be kind of floating and moving around towards the roof and around the room. And right now they're kind of a blue green when you first enter into the room, and as you go in, they almost change and react to you entering the room and change into more of this like incandescent warm light, and which illuminates the room more completely. And you now see that there are, in the center of the room, there's this what looks like this this fountain, and the water seems to be steaming, and it seems to be fresh water flowing up into it. It's a kind of raised out from the floor, maybe 3 feet or so in a circle. It's exactly in the middle of the room. And then there are 4 alcoves on each quadrant of the room, and then a long hallway that seems to open up to a bunch of doors off of that. And in one of the alcoves, you see what looks like a circular rune carved into the floor that is what you probably would recognize as a teleportation circle. It does not seem to be active in any way, shape, or form, but it is just that is carved into the floor in this corner. And actually, for the other 3 alcoves, I would like you to tell me what is in your sanctum. I'm gonna post a list in chat of the options that you have, and I'll just go over it really quickly. So you have the choice of 6 things that you can add to the room. Each of you get to choose 1 that you're going to add to the sanctum, and these are going to be assets you can access when in the sanctum. You have access to adding a lore library, which is for legends and history, essentially what Cedric gave you access to, but then you wouldn't have to travel to Whitport every time. A magic library, which is for the study of magic and spells. An armory, which is a stockpile of normal weapons and armor. An alchemist lab, which you can use to synthesize poisons, bombs, etc. A cage, which is a jail or a prison cell. A herbalist lab, which is for creating potions and items for healing. And yeah, that's it, actually. That's the 6. So I guess we can go one by one and see what you would like to have in your sanctum.
I want to go last because obviously Rangram wants the armory, but that might just be too on the nose. I want to see what everybody else goes with to see if we can see what chat has to say about it too. Because I think the armory would the armory just be like an armory, or would there be like a proper forge could be set up there?
So you can actually totally have a forge. I just assume you probably wouldn't want a forge because you already have one in town.
Have one at the I know, but it's so on the nose. Like Rangram's just like more places to do stuff. I like
more places to hammer.
I have a question.
Places to hammer.
Yep.
What is the difference between alchemist lab and an herbal lab?
Alchemy is going to be for creating and synthesizing weapons of some sort. Like if you wanted to create like poisons or like bombs or acids, things like of that sort, things that are damaging, that's what that's going to be. Herbalist lab is going to be more for creating things that are for healing and restorative properties.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I will happily pick first.
Right.
Glenn would 100% want an alchemist lab. Poison and sneaky ways to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And this lore library, would it come stocked?
Yes, it would come stocked with books.
Okay.
And what would be the magic library again? Because the lore library is more like what Cedric kind of had at his.
Yep, it's going to be it's going to be history of Sakal and things of that sort. The magic library is going to be a study of magic and spells. So if you run into strange magics or strange items and like artifacts, there's going to be things like that. That's where you're going to get more of that information from.
Okay. So just as a group, because we're all kind of hashing this out, we feel like we do have a forge already in town, in Tin Town. We have
a slow lore library.
We have it's a day's travel to the lore library?
To Cedric's, yeah.
I can
About
send
24
Poe.
hours.
I can send Poe, so it could fly
Yeah.
there.
Literal
I mean,
messenger
until we
pigeon.
get that teleportation circle up and running, then like maybe we just boom, and bamf over to Cedric's.
Okay.
Come right back. Maybe.
So there's a
Yeah.
possibility that we eventually get a lore library close. Magic.
Magic library sounds tight.
A magic library sounds tight.
Cool.
Right? I mean, there's definitely a possibility. Herbalism and alchemy, always a win to have.
Yeah. What is cage? What is the cage again? Is it just like
A
a big old
prison-
cage?
it's a
Just
prison.
like a prison?
It's
like
a
a
prison.
sex-
It's,
like a
it's
sex
essentially
thing?
like a jail cell. Yeah.
Ah, never mind. Different kind of cage. Got it.
Yeah, there's a swing in the middle of it.
There you go. There it is.
Ah,
There it is.
what are you and Luther getting
Well,
up to down
it's
here?
a bird cage. It's a really
Then
big
one's 3
bird
cages.
cage.
All right. My 3 would be alchemist, magic. I
We-
guess an herbalist.
Magic.
I feel like that's my 3. Those are my 3.
I feel
As a technically a full caster, Rangrim's gonna go with Magic Library.
okay.
Because if we're at Luther's and that's location 10, like the Iron Woman is right next to it.
Right.
So
Upstairs.
Yeah.
it's right next door. So I'm not gonna go Armory. If my pick, I'm gonna take Magic Library.
Mm-hmm.
I got alchemist, so you got last pick.
So, then I think I do like the idea of being able to do herbalist lab as but I'm trying not to like meta too much, but what Cosmo would know is that we have Cedric, we have the Iron Woman, we have those things available to us. Cage isn't really in my nature.
Point.
So yeah, so I think an herbalist.
I mean, lawful good. What if you want to lock up some punks?
Then I'd turn him. I'd likely turn him over to the.
The correct authorities.
The correct authorities, not a group
Or-
of vigilante miscreants.
Or we would just dwarf pile, and it would be done and over with,
As
So-
we do.
as we do. So, and I think that I feel like that pretty much hits what that was recommending too. Like
Magic library, alchemist, and herbalist.
that's pretty much most
Tiger's
of it.
called that one.
except
Tiger
for-
Stark.
Yeah, yeah.
Does the armory already have plate mail in it?
I will say that there is at least one chunk of plate mail in this armory.
Nope, stay with Magic Library.
There it is.
What's that? What did he say?
So sticking with the magic library. All right. So
So we're gonna go with it then. So
magic library, alchemist lab, and herbalist lab.
yep.
John, our DM froze.
We lost him again.
He left the room. He like hardcore left.
He quit. We made him
We
quit.
have- We picked the bane and the
did we
bless
beat the
of
DM?
labs.
We did beat the DM.
We beat the DM. We made him quit. Okay, I don't like that idea anymore.
Yeah, he's done. Hey, bud,
Hey, sorry. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
we lost you hard.
You've
Is
all
it-
seen Gilbert Godfrey reading 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
That sounds. I don't know. I don't have a vagina, but that dried me right up.
Let's see if we can continue this. Did we settle on during my many drops? Did we settle on what we want to do?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
It's magic library, alchemist lab, and herbalist lab.
Awesome. Hell yeah, yeah. So
Hell
that-
yeah.
as you look around the room, you see in the other 3 alcoves, you see those that you have access to those as well now. And Luther, as he walks in, he goes, "So the pool in the middle is actually a healing spring. One of the most powerful mages I ever met in my life actually enchanted that, and it's not the water that comes up, so you can't bottle it, but the actual pool itself is has healing powers, and you'll heal quickly if you are to bathe in it. And The actual sanctum itself is protected from scrying and other kind of magical means of divinations. So as long as you're in here, and long as anything else is in here, things you don't want to be found, they are protected.
Dope. That's amazing.
That's real nice there, Luther. Thank you. I don't. Why?
Rangram immediately goes and sits in the pool. He just wants to see if it cures his hangover.
Rangram is going to take a bath now. And Luther, what have we done to deserve such a wonderful place with such gifts?
I believe that people that do good should have everything at their disposal to do so. Actually, at the end of this hallway are rooms that I know that especially you, Cosmo, and you, Rangram, have places to stay. But if you do choose to stay down in the sanctum and feel like this is where your calling's at, there are plenty of rooms down that way that you can claim for yourselves and have been home to powerful heroes in the past. So I feel like it. You'd be right at home there.
See, Luther, I knew you understood how good I was. I knew that was just a matter of time before you saw who I am on the inside. And Cosmo, I always told you it pays to be good. None of that shady stuff you've been into lately. Just do the right thing. Like give Luther a thumbs up.
Says the weird elf who's always doing weird stuff.
Glenn, are you still holding on to the coin in your pocket?
Oh, yeah.
The coin's been kind of quiet, and you felt it kind of go cool off a little bit, and then it suddenly heats back up, and you hear the voice again go, "Oh, okay. Here, this is the Tattered Lord." And you're kind of confused for a second, because the vision that comes through into your eyes, in your mind's eye, is a face that is very familiar to you, but instead of it's looking at you through the bars of a cage. But it's also the face that's directly in front of you. And you see Luther's face projected into your mind's eye. And with that, the coin just cools off completely. And that is what you see.
I see which form of Luther. I see the
you see
Warforged version of him.
You see the Warforged face that is right in front of you right now.
Big question.
In your mind's eye.
The phrase was, "This is the face of the Tattered Lord."
Yeah. So if I see that,
oh no!
Like I blink back and it.
Having lots of technical difficulty tonight. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, BK, we lost you a bit there, bud. I think he might be a goner.
He's a goner.
He's frozen.
He's
a goner.
Well, on that note, I'm wicked glad that Rangram doesn't have that meta knowledge, because things would be taking a far different turn.
Wait.
Am I back?
You're back.
You are back now, sir.
Sweet. All right. So sorry about that. So basically, I see I'm told that the Tattered Lord is right, or like this is what the Tattered Lord looks like, and all of a sudden I see Luther on the other side of bars, and then like that vision fades out, and just like Luther directly in front of me.
Yep.
Damn. All right. Glenn immediately kind of takes a slow step back and sleight of hands the coin into his pocket. And
is everything all right?
Oh yeah. You know, just anytime you see a secret lair, it's always a little bit surprising. How long has it been since you've been down here? It looks pretty well kept together. You've been cleaning this up for us while we've been out?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Yeah, when you kind of walk through, I know it's dark, and but when you first, yeah, true. But when you first entered into the Heroes Guild, it was completely filthy. It didn't look like anyone had cleaned it in a very long time because Warforges don't need to eat, don't need to sleep. It seemed like someone was moving around in this space, but wasn't like interacting with it, cleaning it, anything of that sort. Even though it's dark, when you pass through it, it looked like there were lanterns lit, there were torches lit on the wall. Which was not what it was the first time. It was completely pitch black. There was like one lantern, and it looks like someone has been cleaning it. Everything is much more well maintained. Everything's been picked up, and it seems like this has been turned into a much more hospitable environment. And this down below matches that as well.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I said, well, Luther, I really do appreciate the offer. I would love to maybe take residence in one of these rooms you have down the hallway, but I would just feel like an awful guest if I didn't go back and at least thank Cosmo's very fine mother for
She's a
keeping me.
very nice mom.
She is. She makes the best. What is that? Squirrel stew?
Right. Yep.
Lizard tail
Lizard tail. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you told me squirrel the first time. I feel a little bit betrayed there, Cosmo, but
No, it was always lizard tail and dwarven bread.
I think I blocked that one out then.
Right.
I'd feel terrible about not going to say thank you. So maybe I'll come back in a couple days, but I feel like I gotta, just tidy up the place a little bit before I, move all my stuff in here. That'd be so rude.
Hey, no pressure at all. If you want to come take a look at the rooms, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, we can. It's the middle of the night. We don't need to. And as he's speaking, you hear the bells from the mine.
Shit.
You hear it ring once, very loudly, and it kind of resonates even down lower. You guys are in the ground. You can hear that bell from the mines.
We hear the bell, and Cosmo says, he says, "Hey, Luther, is there any other way out of this place other than the back of the way we came, or is there a way down into the mines from here?"
No, you gotta go back up and go. There's no other way out here. This is a one way in, one way out situation. But go. I won't be able to keep up with you.
Yep.
Looks like we got a fight on our hands, boys.
Rangram
gets up, still in the bathtub, sopping wet.
Come on,
I'm not drunk anymore, though. I wonder what happens when I drink in it.
It just isn't endless. That sounds like no fun at all. Let's go.
I'll be honest, that sounds like a waste of ale.
What if I drink in it, but just my feet in it? Or drink outside of it and occasionally dip my feet in it.
Yep. So
Glenn's already gone.
So you guys are running down towards the mines?
Yeah, I'm following Cosmo.
So for anyone that's new here in the chat, there is a one central mine in the town that has a 3-gate system that as the gates are passed, when the first gate is passed, which is farthest in the mine, one bell will ring. If it gets past the second bell, 2 bells will ring, and then the third bell, by the time it reaches the third gate, which is the last gate into the city, that's when they'll ring 3 bells. As you are running to the mine, you get just towards the front doors, and you hear 2 bells, a bell ring, and then a second bell ring, and you right before that, you actually see the door to the mines, just the whole structure of it shudder, and kind of dust is falling from the ceiling as if something has hit something very hard. And that's after that is when you hear the 2 bells. And at this point, you're just running through the mines. And as you reach the first gate, it is open high enough for you guys to go underneath, and they're just waving people through.
Like evacuating, or like waving us in?
Waving people in. Yeah, waving you into it. It's for defenders to get into farther into the mine, past the first gate.
Okay.
The Imperial Guard people are doing that?
Yes.
Do they look injured in any way?
At this moment, Rangram wants to stop to his 2 compatriots, say, 1 second, and I'm going to cast Aid on the party.
Nice.
That gives you all 5 to your maximum HP for the next 8 hours.
Hell
Thank you.
Cleric doing cleric shit.
We need to turn that into
cleric
something.
stuff.
We need to turn that into we all turn in high five.
Yeah, like freeze frame.
So you're running past the first gate, and you're seeing that around you there are people that are working for the mine. There's guards. There don't seem to be any soldiers in there, but there is essentially the mine militia is preparing for a fight. They're sitting there between the the third gate, which is the last one into the town, and the second gate, and they are just kind of preparing for like a last defense if it is able to get past that second gate. And the second gate is open just enough to essentially, as you not to run through it, but essentially if you wanted to slide through, it's open about 2 feet.
As we approach as we kind of walk into this open way, do we see a commander up high or anybody up high on like?
There are people up on the wall that are facing away from you, and they look like they're looking through the gate. And as you are approaching this gate, you see just a smoke cloud, and there is like debris and rubble, and there is something very big that is just inside the first gate.
So when we saw the militia, was the militia on this side of the closing gate, or they were on the other side of the closing gate?
They are, so essentially if gate 3 is the last one before you go into town, they are between gate 2 and gate 3. So they're
being closed off.
Yes. They're the last line of defense.
Glenn would not stop, and he would just slide right underneath. Like full baseball slide.
Between gate 1 and gate 2 is where the refugees encampment is. So if this thing's past gate 1, it is in where the refugee encampment is, where all the Underdark people that are not allowed to go to the surface live.
Mm-hmm. Yoink.
Sliding right in that bad boy too.
Okay,
let's go.
Awesome. With that, let's open up Astral and roll for initiative.
Wait, what's Cosmo doing?
Hold on. I need a second here to process this.
We're moving quick.
I know we are. I'm watching that. I'm feeling it. So the militia are inside the gate, which is that gate is the last line of defense before it gets into Tin Town.
Yes.
So that's gate 3.
And out of the mine.
And so that's gate 3 out of the mine.
Yes.
We're heading into gate on the other side. On the other side of gate 2.
Past gate 2. Yes.
So basically, we're headed into the refugee area.
Yes.
Okay. And basically, we're seeing dust and clutter come through this space.
Yes.
This
you can see
second
that
gate.
Yes. Whatever it is already past gate 1.
Okay. Hold on. It's percent dice in these moments, so you know.
Please hold. Yeah, I got you.
You're rolling to see if he does it. I love it.
Fuck.
Do I care about them?
Okay, hold on. So
follow your heart.
I rolled the dice, and I know how to interpret dice now. Percent dice. So
yeah, that's a fun story.
Yeah, right. That's definitely a story.
Not knowing that 0, 0, 0 on the dice was 100, not 0.
Yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yikes.
So Cosmo turns to the dwarven militia, and he says, "Who's in charge here?"
So it's there's actually you actually see someone towards the back who you recognize from in the mine. It's a dwarf that actually has one arm, and he comes over to you. Yeah, what's going on?
I just don't really feel like it's good for your men to be on this side of the gate. I really feel that you should be on the other side of the gate. I don't feel it's safe here for you now. We will handle this. I really must ask that you return to the other side of gate 3.
Well, so hold on. They're in between. They're in the right spot. So if they're on the other side of gate 3, they would be out in Tin Town. You're like outside of the mine completely in Tin Town. They're just inside of gate 3, between gate 2 and gate 3. Sorry, I know it's a little confusing.
Do you want him to fight with us? Or do you want him to get the hell out?
Yeah, that's what. Right now, they're protecting the town.
BK understands my dilemma right now.
I'm not there.
Okay.
I know.
I'm
I
not
know.
there.
I know you're not. I know you're not. I know you're not.
Are you trying to
you.
get him? Yeah, I'm
You do
trying.
you.
So,
think I'm-
what's that?
No, I think I'm not getting something.
So, well, I mean, you're the DM. I'm supposed to keep something from you, right?
Oh, gotcha. This is your guys' conversations you're having secretly.
This is Cosmo's moral conundrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, chat. Real quick. Cosmo's having nightmare flashbacks of people getting caved in on right now.
Oh, right.
And Cosmo is so stuck. Like that
Yeah.
these people are the ones that are going to die if he lets them stay in the room. And he's like,
Oh, I see.
Yep.
because they were faceless people that were shown to him. And if he lets them stay in the mine and it collapses, then they're all dead and there's nobody to protect the town.
Roll me a persuasion if you're trying to do this.
Okay.
I've learned to never fulfill the prophecy. Always run from it.
It's a 15.
All right. They rolled a 15 as well. So I'm just gonna say that it comes to a stalemate and goes, listen, I don't know what you're afraid of, but right now, that giant thing is the only thing that I don't want coming through this gate. I'm not gonna feel good if I'm hiding on the other side of it.
Right, but if this, you have to promise me one thing then. If it seems the mine is going to come down, that you get your men out.
I'll do everything I can to make sure that these soldiers make it home.
Right. Then keep your men safe and we'll carry on.
All right. Cool. So are you guys running through the going under the gate?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cosmo pulls his war pick and his shield out and just runs into.
As you're running, the mine collapses behind you, killing all of them. Just kidding, no.
You're a piece of shit.
No, I'm kidding. No, actually,
Rangrim starts doing the running man on the rubble.
as you slide underneath this gate, though, it does slam behind you. And
All right. Here we go. Over to Astral and initiative rolls.
Oh.
let's do it.
I got a 1.
Oh god.
My dice, they're working for you again.
1 plus 5. I got a 6.
It's 5. You
That's-
almost beat me with a 1. I got an 8. This is what I rolled.
I got a 6.
Let's see. And it's my
John, do we
initi-
see the townsfolk of the Undercommon people?
Yes, I'll describe the scene here in a second. I want to get all the initiatives written down.
I want to know now.
My initiative is 16.
Ooh.
Okay, awesome.
It's an. If you can't read that, chat, it says it's an Uber Hulk. Like it's a Hulk that caught an Uber here.
Normally it's called an Umber Hulk, but it is the biggest Umber Hulk. Rangram, you've experienced these in the past, and maybe Cosmo, you've seen them just from minings. They're common in the Underdark, but this thing is about twice as big as any Umber Hulk you've ever seen in your life.
If you think these things are bad, you should see the Lift Hulks.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
I'll
the
be here all night, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Taxi Hulks were bad, but the Lift
Taxi
Hulks,
Hulks.
the Lift Hulks and Uber Hulks
Yes.
killed all of them.
Right. You just killed him off.
What did Rangram get?
I got an 8, sir.
Nice. And what did Glenn get?
I got a 6.
Oh, cool.
I got a dirty 1.
All right. Cosmo. Actually, let me describe the room real quick, and then
Right.
Pretty please.
Because
Yeah, so what you see as the dust clears and you pass this room, again, this space between gate 1 and gate 2 where the refugee encampment is it widens out, and it's kind of this much wider room, and there are these kind of ramshackle shelters built all over the place where these essentially, refugees from the Underdark that have come trying to seek shelter away from the chaos that the Underdark has fallen into they've built these little areas and these homesteads down here. And the first gate, as you know from last time you're down here, was it was just a doorway. It's just an archway. It doesn't have a gate on it at all. That gate, that archway has been utterly destroyed by this thing running through it, and now there's just probably a 20-foot gap in this whole wall, and there's just debris everywhere, and there are tents that have been completely crushed by pieces of rubble. Anything that's near the entrance and the pathway, or the gate, that first gate, is been completely demolished as this Uber Hulk has come through it. And you can see people peeking out, but for the most part, it seems like the refugees have taken shelter as far away from this as humanly possible.
Like running back towards the other gate.
Yeah, they're kind of packed into the far against the wall of the gate farthest away from the Uber Hulk, and they're not trying to get through the gate because they don't feel like that's going to be something that's going to help them very much. But they are just trying to make as much distance away from that as possible. But you can see that some of these people have not made it out successfully, and their tents and shelters have been utterly destroyed by this thing coming through. And with that, Cosmo, it is actually your turn.
Right. Okay. So just to clarify, there are refugees on the edges.
They're behind you, essentially, in this map.
Oh, they're behind me. Okay, I'm cool with that. I will allow it.
You guys are about halfway up in this room right now.
Okay, so from where we sit on Astral, the refugees would be off, behind us.
Yes.
Awesome.
Go, and then, so just for flavor, it was just kind of turns to the group, and it's just more of guys, just whatever happens here, we have to protect the mine, and we must protect the refugees. That is our first priority. And then he just runs at the beast.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can make it. So these are 5-foot squares. So do your movement. Where are you going?
I guess it would be right there. 5. I think I'm up to 30 feet. 25. And then I'll just kind of move up, and then I will. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on this Uber Hulk guy, and that's kind of my turn for now.
Awesome. And for anyone that's listening to audio format, what you're seeing with this Uber Hulk is this massive, essentially hulking insectoid form that is just covered in spines and chitin. It's probably 20 feet. It's very large form that is just kind of lumbering towards them through this gateway. And with that, it's actually going to screech out in this nasty, just kind of chittering noise that kind of reverberates across the ground. And as it moves forward and you look into its eyes, I actually need all of you as it gets within actually, it's just going to be Cosmo right now, but as it gets within range, Cosmo, I need you to make me a charisma saving throw.
That's me best kind. Hey. You bloody beast. It's a 17.
Okay. As you look into its eyes, you feel this kind of wave of confusion wash over you for just a second before you are able to fight it off. But you felt for a minute as if there was some sort of magic that's coming out of the eyes of this creature. And with that, it is going to essentially try to go past you and swat you out of the way as it goes.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
Well, it's attacking you currently, so it's going to try to hit you first.
Oh,
Uh,
that's fine then.
But if it goes by you, then yes, you could get attack of
Oh, okay.
opportunity on it.
How
that's,
rude.
It's so rude.
So it's going to attack you twice with its claws. That first attack is a 16,
Nope.
and that second attack is going to be an 18.
I'll allow it.
All right, so that's going to be 10 damage as it swats at you with its arm, as it tries to rush by you. And with that, it's going to pass by you, which means that you can attack it if you'd like.
I certainly will. And I'll use me attack. And with me Hunter's Mark, I get advantage. Ooh, that's nice. That's much nicer. That's 23 to hit.
Yes, that does hit.
Yes, it does. That's going to be 12 plus 15 damage. And let me look at something. I'm trying to remember my shield master when I can.
Right, the pushing.
Yeah, what
It's
the
pretty big. I don't know if there's a limit on whether or not you can push something that is in the large category.
I'd have to go read the player's handbook, but it does not. It's a bonus action, so it's gonna work anyways. I thought maybe it was a reaction.
Awesome. So that's gonna bring us to Rangram. What are you gonna do?
Quick DM question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you rule
I
on
roll quite a
casting?
lot.
I know. We know you rule. 2 spells in a turn. Do you stand by the 1 spell and a cantrip thing? That's the technical PHP thing in the player's handbook, but I've played it both ways. I don't think we've ever come across this.
What is it again?
So technically in the player's handbook, it says if you cast a spell, like, just as an example, what I was going to do is going to cast Spiritual Weapon and Bless. Spiritual Weapon is a bonus action. Bless is an action. According to the player's handbook, you can only cast 1 spell in a cantrip.
Oh, I think that if it's a
Turn.
bonus action, that's totally fine. We can homebrew that.
Okay, as long as you're fine with that. So that's what I'm doing.
That's because we's a mostly 5e.
Yeah, mostly.
I'm mostly 5e D&D adventurer. Bam. So I'm just going to pony up right here, just on the adjacent side of Cosmo. Cast Spiritual Weapon, as well as cast Bless on the homeboys. And John, is there any way you can drop
Bless up.
like any sort of doodad in so I can see my Spiritual Weapon?
Oh yeah. Let me.
At some point, maybe I'll find something I can send to you. Even if you have like a upside down halfling, we can use that.
Yeah, I think I have. Let me see what I can add in here. I might have to add a zombie or something like that.
Just something so I can visually look at it, because I can only move it like so far.
There you go. You get a zombie, which I can change to be a spiritual weapon.
Okay. So I don't have control over it, but that's totally fine. We just assume it'd mostly probably stay in range of that homeboy.
Yes. Yeah, just let me know where you would like me to move it. And
So
then
on my bonus action, when I summon it, I can make an attack with it.
Actually, you know what? I just gave you access to it.
Awesome. So when I cast a spell, I can make a melee spell attack against a creature, and it's just a D8 plus my spell casting modifier. It's a D8 plus 4. Actually, I gotta roll to see if I hit first. I'm assuming that an 11 does not hit the Uber Hulk.
It does not hit it.
Okay, never mind. I got this sweet spiritual weapon floating around him. It wicked whiffed on the 20-foot monstrosity that's there. But aside from that, we all blessed up too.
Sweet.
Bless.
Awesome.
We
And yes, can
remind me.
confirm I can move him too.
Rangrim, what's
D4.
your
The what?
Attacks and saving throws.
Attacks and saving throws.
Rangrim, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception's probably pretty good. My passive perception is 16.
That is very good.
Okay, as you're running up to this Uber Hulk, past it, you see this kind of in between the damaged gate. You see kind of this shimmering spectral form, pretty far away from you, but it's between that gate on the far end. Humanoid in shape.
Gotcha.
And that's going to bring us to Glenn.
So he's just bounding his way right at me, literally like a locomotive on those tracks.
It's an octopus.
Don't meta game.
Can't. Oh man, I'm not sure what to do. Glenn just starts nervously laughing and like is pulling out his bow and he's like, I hope you think this joke's funnier than me. He says knock knock, and then as he pulls his arrow back and he goes, you're supposed to say who's there, and he catches Tasha's hideous laughter.
Yes.
Actually, let me see. Okay, I think it has enough. Yeah, it does have enough intelligence. Okay. So what kind of saving throw?
Oh no. Wisdom.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about the intelligence thing. I need
It's
to
a
be.
14.
Oh, he saves.
He does not think you're that funny.
That's because he
Glenn's-
didn't say who's there. He missed the punchline.
He missed the
True.
setup. And as I recognize that fails, I'm gonna take my movement and move 30 feet out of his way, and I'm gonna hide behind this doohickey right here. Take
Nice.
my bonus action to hide.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's a shelter that you can actually, if you want to go inside of it, it seems to be vacated, and it's just essentially this like empty tent. So if you wanted to go inside of it and hide inside and shoot through the front flaps, you can as well on your next turn.
Perfect.
So,
An 18 stealth as well.
awesome. Yeah, you are definitely hidden. That beats the passive perception. Cosmo, it is your turn.
Yes, it is. Well, welcome in, Chav Hunter. It's clearly my turn, and we're gonna
Welcome.
swing the X. Let's see what happens. That's a 22 to hit,
Yeah, that definitely hits.
right? And let's see. Let's roll damage again. Right, that's a 13 damage.
15 damage.
Mm.
Come down on it with your you see this like this chitin that you're hitting, like you're able to like you get a nice crack out of it as it like from this exoskeleton as you're able to nail it with your pick.
Yeah. I think I'm really aiming for I don't know how, it's 20 feet high. I think I'm like cracking at its like knees.
Yeah, it's pretty it's a pretty big beast.
And for flavor, I just look over to Rangram and I say, Rangram, he's got a funny thing. Don't look in his eyes.
What? Look at his eyes.
Don't look at his eyes. Just hit him. Just swing at his knees.
An ace. Got you.
Yep.
All right.
And whatever's in between the knees. I don't know. He's a bug. And
Is that the end of your turn?
no. Oh shoot. That one's not a bonus action. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Actually, yeah. So Rangrim, I need Cosmo since noticing that there was there was things going on with his vision with the eyes. Have you been averting your gaze at all?
I've been looking at his knees. So yes.
Okay. Rangrim, I need you to make me a charisma saving throw.
I do have to add, just for my own, is it? I have advantage if it's against being charmed or paralyzed.
It is,
Which-
well, it's confusion, so whichever one that is.
I don't think that would be either. I think the confuses is a whole separate
Yeah,
condition.
yeah, I'm trying to see in here. I believe it's yeah, I believe, yeah, I don't believe you would have an advantage on it.
Like, yeah, charmed or paralyzed. Charmed and paralyzed are two different.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't have advantage. Cool. I just wanted to make sure. And it's a charisma save,
yes.
right? That is, I hope, good enough. 15?
That just saves.
Ooh. I have advantage on charisma saves, guys.
Did you use your
proficiency.
bliss? Did you use your bliss?
I didn't use my bless,
They
so
see- I
bless
will-
up, just so you know. It was actually an 18 DM shade.
That's,
Hell yeah.
that's me boy. Blessed.
Forgot
Right.
we blessed up.
So this thing seems to have now finally taken notice of these two smaller figures in front of it that seem to be impeding its path and are attacking its knees. So it's going to start swiping down on both of you, and it's going to do a swipe at Rangrim, which is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yuck. That hits.
And then Cosmo is going to roll to attack you. That's going to be not good. And then it's going to miss you with its hand, and instead it's going to bend down and try to grab you with its mandibles. And that is also not good. That's only going to be, it's not going to do it. It's going to be a 10 total. So Rangrim, what's up?
Can I take an attack of action on his face when he gets close to me?
No, it's part of its attack. But,
I know. I was looking for those eyes. I'm on to him.
that's 11 damage, Rangrim.
Yuck.
It's
It catches you with one of those claws.
And John, just
Right.
your FYI, I did not renew my Blessing of the Forge after my long rest, so my armor
Oh,
class
no.
is only 18 right now.
Armor days.
Rangrim, are you hang in there, buddy?
I'm fine.
Just
Morty.
remember, don't look at the eyes.
Yeah, so it's not gonna move forward at all right now. It's just gonna be trying to figure out how to get you guys out of the way. So this is gonna bring us to Rangrim's turn.
Okay. So if I were to kind of move slightly out of his path, would that provoke an attack of opportunity? Like if I just gave him ample space to move between us.
I believe that if you don't disengage, that
If I
it
don't
does.
disengage it,
I
still
believe it's
would.
attack of opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So fuck him directly in the face. I'm gonna bonus action attack him with my spiritual weapon.
Nice.
Well, you could you could move around him. You can use your movement speed as long as you don't like move out of his
Melee
physical
range.
attack range. I thought, yeah. Like if you
Oh
stay
no,
within
he's
5
gonna
feet
he's
of him.
gonna have to steamroll right through me if I'm moving. I don't want to leave a clear shot for him to go to the gate. I was kind of just trying to provoke him so I can get an attack of opportunity on him at some
Gotcha.
point. So that is an 18 for my spiritual weapon to hit.
Yes, that does hit.
So that's a D8 plus 4. 6 damage. 6 force damage, if
Nice.
it matters. And then, while right in front of him, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at first level. So that is it's a ranged spell attack. So
Nice. Do you have disadvantage for shooting a ranged spell with close range?
it just says it's a ranged spell attack, but it doesn't give you like the ranges like it would with bows and crossbows, etc.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone in chat knows that, but we can just go without disadvantage for right now.
They're on your spell chart.
Spell chart.
Chart.
Spell chart.
If there is a minimum or maximum range, it'll say like.
Okay. So if there's not, then we can just go without.
Yeah, and
disadvantage.
even under actions, it says range 120 feet, but it doesn't have the min max like it normally does
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
with bows and such. So that one was a 19 without having disadvantage.
Okay, yeah. That hits. That does hit.
Wonderful. So guiding
You-
bolt is 46.
You can hit the broadside of a barn.
That's pretty decent. Pretty decent. 11, 14 radiant damage from guiding bolt. And until the end of my turn, the next attack against it has advantage.
Very nice. Yeah, so it's
He's all
glowing.
glittery now.
Yeah, it's glowing with this light now from guiding bolt. Awesome. Glenn, what are you gonna
So from just inside the tent, now it's an Umber Hulk that's like glowing and more visible.
do? Yeah.
I take the arrow that I had notched, and I yelled at Rangrim like, "We could already see him," and I take a shot at his head.
Nice, which you have advantage on.
Very much so.
Yeah, sneak attack, though.
And that's a nat 20
Whoa.
We needed
Jesus.
that. Needed that.
plus 7 plus bless, but we'll go with that hits.
Uber Hulk. Uber
Uh,
Hulk.
so it's 2d8. Does shit? I should know this. Does that apply to sneak attack dice as well?
Don't think the sneak attack damage crits.
It's
I think
only the weapon damage.
I think
right?
it's just the weapon damage.
Okay.
I think. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. It's definitely all the sneak attack damage.
Okay, so 13. 1d8 plus. Sorry, math.
Oh,
There-
sneak. Everyone's saying sneak does crit. It's all the
Yep,
dice.
It's all the dice.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought too. Was that all dice is doubled?
Okay, so
Oh, hey, snap. Chat says
Chat.
sneak crits. Sneak
Chat.
crits.
Chat, you are amazing. Thank you
chat,
for the
but
assists.
chat also says that it's disadvantage if a ranged spell is done within melee. So
That's fine. I'll disadvantage on all my ranged spells if we can crit on sneaks.
right.
34 plus that, so 41 damage on
Oh
that
God.
shot with my longbow. I just aim for one of the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay,
my man.
Yeah. Because of that, I'll say that you are, because you've taken it now into bloodied range. You nail this thing directly in the eye, and
Thanks,
just like
chat.
it just kind of rears back and like lets out that cat like the clattering screech as its eye is just like this nasty like black goo is just kind of like pouring down its face now from one of its eyes, its ruined eyes, which essentially is going to make it so that Cosmo is not going to have to make any saves on that side anymore.
Then bonus action, hide
Nice.
What's up?
for 17.
Said that was 41 damage.
Yes, sir.
That was
You guys have done some crazy damage. Awesome. This thing is fucking pissed now. But Cosmo, it is your turn.
guys. Right. It is me turn.
Get him.
And question: Does everybody see this spectral figure in the back or no?
Rangrim is the only one
I
who
think
sees
I'm the only one
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
I didn't tell anyone yet.
I just wanted to clarify because it was
I have a
on
big
the
ass
map.
rock in between.
I will
Right.
say that Cosmo,
It's fine.
you could be able to see it from where you're at right now. You do not see it.
Got it. That's very intriguing, but okay. So I was just trying to decide if you're. That's awesome. Right. Okay. Then we hit. I mean, I need to roll for it, but. So it's in bloody range, so I'm gonna save that. So we'll go ahead and do this. It is alright. It's Chav is level 4. That's gonna be. Oh, this is going good. It's a. it's a soft crit of a 19. Okay.
Soft crit.
Of a
soft
nat,
crit.
a soft crit of a nat 19.
Yeah,
That's my porn name.
it hits. Soft crit.
Sorry.
Oh shit. Okay, that's so gross. Alright, so we do we come up a little short, but we do 11 damage.
Okay.
Oh jeez. Yeah. We did all
This thing
cheese
is-
feeds.
This thing is very, very much not doing okay. Its armor is starting to crack where you've been hitting it, like, and there's just like that black ooze is creeping through all these holes, and it's like exoskeleton from your pickaxe. It's been just like hammering away on it. And with that, this thing is going to essentially go into a rage, and it's going to try to grab Rangrim and throw him. That is a 17.
Rude.
So it's a 17 to hit, like to essentially grab you.
Is it going to be a contested grapple? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we can do it. We can do a contested grapple.
Because that would miss my armor class.
Okay.
But we can roll strength.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Technically, it's a grapple, right? We should roll.
Does he get
strength.
disadvantage because he only has one eye?
So that's gonna be a 22 then with the strength added on.
Oh, wicked yuck. So,
Wait,
yeah, he definitely hawks me wherever he feels like.
Wait, did you get your bless?
Yes.
You
Yes, I
blessed?
did. Yes. With my bless, I got a 17.
That's no good.
So
You gave
He's
the
gonna
DM a
grab-
free pass.
he's gonna grab Rangrim and throw you straight back over the shoulder, and you're going to collide with this rock here. I need you to take. I'm gonna roll. You're gonna take 4 damage, and you just kind of like are prone down next to this rock.
I am prone, okay.
Yes. And with that, it's going to continue to try to move forward, taking, I assume, an attack of opportunity from Cosmo. It's essentially trying to run through you, Cosmo, to get here.
Okay. Right.
And yeah, so do your shit, your attack of opportunity.
That's alright, I sure will. Come on, crit. I didn't get it. That's alright. So I got a 19 to hit.
Okay, yeah, you hit.
And then, like, as I see him trying to push through, like, I do take my attack of opportunity, and then I'm trying to scroll down real quick while I'm...
Actually, went more forward, actually.
That's fine. So as I see him run, like, trying to step forward, I take my attack of opportunity, and on this one, I actually use, like, a divine smite, and you see my war pick, like, start to glow, and I really lean in on that knee.
Nice.
And, don't have enough d8s, but we're gonna see what happens here.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's music to my ears.
I don't have enough kill.
Let's see, so 6, 12, 16, 17 damage. Wait a minute, hold on. Actually, one more. Motherfucker. What did I say, 16? So that's gonna be
17.
I said 17, so that's gonna be 25 damage.
25 damage.
Yes. Let's
Okay.
go.
As you hit this thing, it seems to destabilize that knee, and it does drop down to a knee on that side and lets out that like chittering screech again, and it puts its hands forward in front of it, and this seems to be preparing to just like crawl its way continuously forward. And as you land that attack, I actually need you to make me an intelligence saving throw, Cosmo.
Okay. Oh. How's an 18?
You feel like your head is splitting in half, and you feel your body fall down to a knee as you take 2d6
With an 18?
psychic damage. 2d6 psychic damage. So that's going to be 12 psychic damage, and you are afraid, and you are instantly transported mentally to another place as you are you're in a tunnel and you're fighting alongside a bunch of dwarves, and there's a whole mess of underdark creatures and monsters, not underdark creatures, but monsters that are fighting, and you and your fellow dwarves, there's about 4 of you are fighting, and you look to your side and you recognize a face you haven't seen in a very long time, and Cosmo sees his father, and you are fighting alongside him, and then from the back of the group, and from the darkness, you see this Mind Flayer walk forwards and extend their hand, and on their hand you see this burnt in symbol of an eye, and you watch them take their hand and just pull down like this, and with that, you and all of the people, all of the dwarves you are with and all the creatures you're fighting are crushed alive by this falling rock, and with that, that's where the psychic damage comes from, as you essentially feel like you are being crushed alive. And the physical body of Cosmo is prone on the ground and is affected by the status effect Fear. And that is your current situation. That is going to bring us to, I believe, Rangrim.
Snap. All right, a whole lot of stuff just happened right there.
That's bad.
It's no good.
I'm
hurt.
so far away from Cosmo right now. First thing, I'm prone, so I'm gonna stand up. That's halved my movement of my massive 30-foot movement speed. I'm gonna have my spiritual weapon move up, make an attack against the Uber Hulk.
Okay.
I know. I'm trying to move around where everybody is, Tigress.
15.
Trying to keep everybody within range.
That does not hit. Although he's actually prone right now, so you have advantage on attacks on the Uber Hulk.
Oh, I do. Wonderful.
Yes, you do.
17?
Plus a bless.
Does not plus.
Spiritual weapon doesn't get the benefit
Gotcha.
of blast.
Unfortunately, you are just shy of hitting it.
This no good.
Well, Rangrim is going to take the rest of his movement to kind of pivot around. Well, first, now I can fully see Spectral Homeboy over here, the Spectral figure.
You can only see the outline of a form there that is it's like a shimmering haze in the figure of a form.
Would I be able to
Um,
tell if it's like kind of Mind Flayer-ish shaped? I've been in the Underdark for like 125 years.
I will say that yes, you get some. You get some. What is the captain of the fucking? You get some Davy
Davy
Jones
Jones.
vibes off this thing.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Some real Squidbit going on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay,
You get some
I still
Squidward feelings off this
Don't
thing.
tell anyone that. And
Communication is
instead,
important.
I'm firing one more guiding bolt at
As
the
it-
Uber Hulk. Because now, thanks to chat, I know I have to be far away to do it.
Right. Yeah, we thought about using Roll20, but like this.
With the +4, 19?
Yes, that does hit.
Let's go. Okay. Shout out bless. Guys, anyone in chat, if you have a cleric in your group and they don't put bless on the party, they don't get to play.
Ranged attack. Range gets disadvantage on the target.
Yeah, if something's prone. If something's prone, it's like. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that
like-
is correct. If it's
Not the full
prone,
size.
if it's prone, ranged is disadvantage.
Yep.
That is proper. So,
I'll,
missed.
Okay, I'm gonna say because
Plot
the
twist.
size. I'm gonna say the size of this thing. I don't think that prone gives you disadvantage. That wouldn't make a lot of sense to me because it's barely any smaller. You're shooting at its back, which is a very broad target. I think normally that is the case, but I don't in this instance. I don't think you have disadvantage on it.
Kind DM.
Very kind, DM. Well, my damage roll was pretty low. That's only 7 damage on 46.
Okay, I mean, this thing is looking really bad. You see this scorch mark, and then it lights up again with that glittering.
But he's mad glowy. He's mad glowy.
He's mad glowy, and Glenn's gonna be up next here. So,
That's me.
yeah, it is your turn, Glenn.
All right. So he's like kind of crushed, taking a knee, and he's all glowy and beautiful. He's got an arrow sticking out of his eye. So I throw my bow on my back. And as I throw it on my back, I grab my double-bladed scimitar and I just charge him. And I jump. Well, let's just see if I actually make the attack first. See if I hit.
I was gonna say,
Just
don't-
fucking whiffs it.
Before you
Just
tell
whiffs
everybody
it.
how fancy it
I
is.
got another nat 20.
Oh my
Yes!
god.
I got a 20 and a 12.
Oh,
hell yeah.
It feels good.
It feels good. Somebody, I really wanted that on mine. Really hoping for that on that smite hit. I'll take
I
it.
know, me too.
I'm going to roll all 16 d8s.
Oh shit.
All right, so 8 plus 10, so 18 damage, 14 damage, 24 damage on that one. So 24 damage on the hit. As I'm sprinting towards him with the double-bladed scimitar, I jump up and grab the arrow sticking out of his eye, and I swing myself up, and I cast a booming blade in the air.
Oh yes,
land
let's
down
go.
into his other eye.
Yeah, do something.
Impale both of them. So
As-
an extra
a-
d8 was a 1, so it doesn't matter. 25 damage.
I mean, I think you've already described it, but how does it die?
Yes.
Sick. So like as it's on kind of one knee trying to like kind of bring itself up, I just, full-blown Legolas swing and just come up and just stab it right in the eye, and this whole burst of electricity just courses through its body and it's kind of ride its face onto the ground.
Yeah, as you shoot this electricity through it, you see from all the cracks and rents that have been formed in it from both Rangrim and Rangrim and Cosmo, and just the black blood just kind of splurts out from all these different directions, and it just kind of like falls down to the ground, and you ride it down, and just like shuddering the ground as it hits, and with this like sick cracking noise, and with that, the Uber Hulk is destroyed.
And are tight.
Rangrim,
Hooray! As his head pops off, you just hooray! Confetti explodes out from his neck.
Uber Hulk birthday party mod.
Rangrim.
Still active.
this
Oh, that's super cool. I'm wicked happy about what's about to happen here.
this spectral form disappears from the distance and reappears immediately in front of you, and you feel your hand get grabbed and come up like this, and it's holding onto your hand with this like vice-like grip, and it just says, "You seem to have forgotten where your powers come from."
Oh, come on now. I don't like any of this.
Bye,
Let me-
Rangrim.
Let me give you a reminder. They wouldn't want you hurting their children. And you feel this burning on your hand and just the searing pain as this figure disappears in front of you and your hand is free to move again. And as you look down at your hand, there is this image that you've seen now a couple times, and there is the symbol of an eye burned and seared into your palm. And with that, we're going to end the session tonight.
Oh, come on!
Oh.
I'll flip my desk over real quick.
Oh, you're marked. You're one of them.